Don't hit your child. Walk alongside them so they feel we're always there. Hello everyone. Today I want to share with you a topic that I believe every parent has wrestled with at some point. How to discipline our kids the right way while still keeping that love and connection alive. In the journey of raising children, there are bound to be moments of conflict. Times when our kids drive us up the wall. But how we handle those moments shapes them, not just now, but for years to come. I came across an amazing article by a parenting expert, and I'd love to retell it to you in my own words. With all the heartfelt emotion I feel, like I'm chatting with a friend. First, let me highlight 3 key points that really hit home for me. 1. Hitting or yelling at kids to make them learn might work in the short term, but it does more harm than good in the long run. 2. We need to set expectations for our kids that match their abilities so they can grow without feeling crushed by pressure. And finally, the most important thing is to walk alongside our kids, letting them know, we're here for you, ready to help whenever you need us. Now, let's dive deeper into each part. Hitting kids. The cost of losing our cool. Hey everyone, I want you to hear this with an open heart because it's something I've been through myself. And it's left me with some regrets. Have you ever heard the saying, spare the rod, spoil the child? I grew up with that idea, thinking it was the right way to raise kids. But then I realized, hitting or yelling at our kids isn't the answer, sometimes. It's a big mistake. Picture this. We hit or scold our kids harshly because we want them to sit down and study, to love learning. But stop and think. How can they love learning when every time it comes up, they're scared or hurting? I've lost my temper before, raised my hand to my child, and afterward, I asked myself, what's my goal here? I want them to do well in school. But is this really helping? The answer was no. Hitting only makes them afraid in the moment. It doesn't spark any love for learning. And there's more. When I hit my child, I'm sending the wrong message. I teach them to respect their own body, to not let anyone hurt them. Yet I'm the one causing them pain. That realization stings. Plus, if we keep using punishment like this, our kids start figuring out how to dodge it. They might even lie to avoid getting in trouble. Can you see how just a moment of anger can damage the trust between us and our kids? So, how do we discipline effectively without hitting? I've learned that punishment needs to fit the situation, relate to what they did wrong, and above all, respect them. For example, if they didn't do their homework, instead of yelling or saying something crazy like, no dinner for you, which doesn't even make sense, I might say, since you didn't finish your homework, no video games today. Tomorrow, once it's done, you can play. It's clear, it's fair, and it doesn't hurt them. See how a little patience can change everything? Realistic expectations. Growing step by step with our kids. Guys, I'm sharing this with all the honesty I've got because I used to be that mom who expected too much from my kid. And I learned the hard way it wasn't right. When my child started school, I thought they had to nail everything right away, be perfect from the get-go. But no, they need time. And they need my patience. Take this example. When my kid was in 1st grade, I wanted them to write 5 lines of text from day 1. Then I learned to lower my expectations, start with just 1 line. Once they got comfortable with that, I bumped it up to 2, then 3. Little by little, by the end of the year, they were writing fluently and reading well, all without the stress. I was so happy, not because they were the best, but because they grew at their own pace, not mine. Some days, though, they'd be doing fine with 3 lines, then suddenly only manage 1, or even fib and say they'd finished when they hadn't. I'd get frustrated, but instead of snapping, I'd sit down and ask, what's going on today? Something tough? Turns out they were tired or distracted. I realized I needed to understand them, not push them harder. Even with grades, If they're getting a 5 out of 10, I don't aim for a 10 right away. I'd say, next time, let's try for a 7 or 8. That's enough for them to stretch without breaking. Or with nightly homework, math, English, whatever. I let them pick what to do first. They want to start with math? Cool. English? Fine by me, as long as they own it. I see them stepping up and finding their rhythm. For active kids, like my son, who can't sit still, I used to worry because he couldn't focus for more than 5 minutes. But I shifted my focus. Instead of forcing math or writing, I worked on helping him sit still first. We'd do little things, like reading a book together. At first, just 5 minutes, if he stayed and listened. I was thrilled. Over time, we stretched it to 10 or 15 minutes by the end of first grade. I believe if I keep at it, by 5th grade, he'll manage 35 to 45 minutes without me nagging. It's not about pushing them to be perfect right now. It's about staying calm, but calm with a plan. Like when he interrupts me, I say, hold on, listen to mom first, then check if he got it. Or if he's wandering around instead of heading to the bathroom, I remind him, straight from your room to the bathroom. Okay? Don't forget what you're doing. These tiny steps build focus. And I don't have to exhaust myself yelling anymore. We're always here, a promise from the heart. Friends, this part gets me emotional because it's what I want my child to feel deep down. Life's going to throw tough stuff at them, pressures they can't escape. I can't shield them from everything, but I can help them grow strong enough to handle it. I used to think pressure was the enemy, but now I see it's just part of life. Instead of keeping my kid away from it, I want them to get used to it, bit by bit. Like if they're at a 5 out of 10, I say, next time, aim for a 7. That's pressure they can tackle, not a leap to 10 that leaves them overwhelmed. Above all, I want them to know I'm here. Every night, I sit with them, listening to their day. Some days they tell me a friend teased them, others, they're stumped by a lesson. I don't jump in to fix it, I just listen. Then say, if you need me, we'll figure it out together. You're not alone. I want them to feel safe, to know they've got a rock to lean on in me. Being a parent isn't easy, but I believe if we're patient and love them the right way, our kids will grow up with strong hearts and the certainty that we've got their back. I hope this resonates with you and brings a little light to your parenting journey, like it's doing for me every day. Thanks for listening.